Hi everyone, my name's Jo and I'm here today to talk to you about Springpod, tell you what it's all about and how it can help you in your future career decisions that you've got to make. So we're all about providing you with the information to make those decisions that little bit easier about what you want to do in the future. So we have virtual work experience available across lots and lots of different sectors. So I like to think there's something for everyone. But we also have subject tasters or subject spotlights where you can get an insight into degree subjects if you're thinking about university, just so that you know what you're applying for before you actually apply for those programs. So we're here at every stage of your career journey. So whether you're here just to explore, so you just want to find out what careers are out there, what roles might suit you, what university degrees are out there, and what subjects might suit you. But the most important word on this slide for us is experience. So we want you to come away with an experience that you can then detail and add to your applications in the future. So that's done through tasks and activities. So it's not just reading and watching things, you'll complete tasks that are set with employers to give you that real insight as to what goes on a day-to-day basis. So it goes beyond the job title, so you can really find out what the jobs involve. You'll develop those all-important skills that employers are looking for, and you can develop those subject interests beyond what you're studying in the classroom, so build up that super curricular. But you may also, of course, find out about real opportunities. So a lot of the employers that we work with will have apprenticeships that you might be interested in the future, and we want you just to feel a lot more confident that you're making the right decision and to give you that industry expertise. So when you're making those decisions about what you want to do next, you're making informed decisions. So does this all matter? So do virtual experiences count? Yes, absolutely they do. So they can really help you stop and pause and think about whether or not this is the right path for you. And you can't really make decisions until you know you've got all the information in front of you. So you need to find out, what does a typical day look like, for example, in a job that you might be interested in. And you may find out about jobs or careers that you've never even thought about before. So it might well spark some new ideas and give you that motivation to apply for perhaps something you've never considered before. You're going to strengthen your applications. So when you're putting together a CV and you get to the experience section and you're struggling to know what to put, this gives you an actual experience that you can add to your CV, add to your applications, and prove that you can do the tasks and activities that would be expected of you in that job. And you'll feel much more confident. So if you ever get asked to go for an interview, you can refer to the tasks and activities that you've completed as part of that experience. So every opportunity is an opportunity, and it's just how you make the most of that and build up that evidence to prove that you're the right person for those next steps. So build up your evidence. So how does it work? So virtual work experience programs are sort of designed around modules. So you work through them at your own pace. So they can take 8 to 10 hours, or some of them might be shorter than that, and you're working through whenever it suits you. So it might be that you're doing this in the evenings, the weekends, or in time set aside by your school or college. So you'll take part in those activities I've mentioned and take part in quizzes. There might be webinars where you can meet people that work at that company and find out about how they got into their jobs, and then you'll also find out about what the sorts of skills that they'll be looking for if you choose to apply for them. If you're someone that prefers a shorter experience, then our sprints are brilliant in that. So they're just based on one task. So with these, and there's quite a few available with different employers, you'll get to meet someone from that company who will introduce the company. They'll set you a task, a project brief. You go off and complete it, and then you will then get feedback. So the employer or your mentor will come back on and say, well, this is how I would have done this. So that's really important in terms of building those skills, and also that confidence. So you'll be able to really understand the sorts of tasks that you would do if you were to do that job. So you get certificates every time you do something that you can add to your CV, and there's links that you can use if you're older that you can share on LinkedIn. Students love how interactive they are and how it gives them access to these employers that perhaps they would be tricky to go if it was an in-person work experience. It might be that you're using these experiences to then make some applications to real life experience as well, in-person programs, But you can see from the feedback here that they really enjoy the programs. It shouldn't be a chore to complete. The content is designed to be really fun but useful and interactive as well. So how do you get started? So it's designed to be very user friendly, which I hope you'll find. As soon as you've created your account, you can simply start searching for experiences. So if useful, you can search by collections. So we've put together our experiences under career sector collections, or you can just scroll through and have a look and see what's available. To find your certificates, we've made this much easier. So when you've completed a program, whether that's a subject spotlight or a virtual work experience, that how you find your certificates is you go to My Achievements, and that's where you'll see all of your certificates, and also where you can download them and also share them to your CV or LinkedIn if you're older. So a lot of our employers, as I've mentioned, will have apprenticeship pathways. So if you're thinking about an apprenticeship but you just don't know enough about them, do complete our programs, because you'll find out about how to apply, what's available, and how the application processes work. So there's just a selection of employers here that have those opportunities. And then by the time you've completed a program, you'll know whether or not that's a pathway that actually suits you. Moving on to subject spotlight. So if you're thinking you might want to go to university in the future, here's some subject tasters that you can do that will really help inform those decisions. So there's a whole library available. Again, it's interactive video content, so you'll meet academics who will talk about a particular subject area. And then you can use that content to really enhance your personal statement and really prove your interest in that particular subject. And again, lots of interactive quizzes and activities, getting you to perhaps have a go at some activities related to the subject that you've explored. Again, super easy to get started. As long as you're signed in to your Springpod account, you can simply click Get Started. Again, some feedback here from students who have completed subject spotlights. They find them really useful and really engaging. So they don't take too long, probably a couple of hours tops, I would say, but you'll come away with a much better understanding about what that subject is. So what it means is that you won't find yourself sat in a lecture theatre in your first year thinking, I'm not sure I should have chosen this subject. So it can really help make those decisions a little bit easier. So how can you use all of this to evidence your interest? So when you're completing the work experience or subject spotlights, always think about, okay, what have I learnt here that I didn't know before? Are there new skills or knowledge that I've found out about and I've developed through completing the tasks and activities? Perhaps there's some, like when you're learning about an industry, maybe there's particular challenges that you found out about related to that industry that you can go into a bit more detail in. Even better if you use these experiences to go on and apply for in-person experiences, whether that's a taster at a university or summer school, or whether that's an in-person work experience. So I would always think of this as part of your journey. So what are you going to do next once you've completed these experiences? So how do you get started? Super easy. All you need to do is go to springpod.com and click Create Account in the top right hand corner, and then you're asked to add an email and create a password. So you're asked to complete personal details. So you just tell us some details about your name and a bit more about how you want to be communicated as well. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to hear from us again. But if you do say you want to hear from us, if you say that you're interested in a particular subject and then all of a sudden we get a fantastic experience, we can let you know. So you're emailed a code just to confirm that you are who you say you are. So always check your junk and spam folders for this. If you don't get that code to verify your email, sometimes, or usually I would say 9 times out of 10, it's because there's a typo in your email, or it may be blocked if you're doing it in a school or college. So you might have to speak to your teachers if that's the case. You confirm your year group. So we calculate that from your date of birth. And then you select your school or college. So this is very important. So your college or school should be on the drop-down menu. Select that, and then that means that your teachers, your careers advisors, careers leaders can then track and see what you do and celebrate your achievements with you. So we ask you information about your background. You can prefer not to say on a lot of these questions, but you do need to complete something. We ask for your postcode, and again, that's because a lot of the employers that we work with will want to find out which students are taking part in their program. So you only have to provide your postcode, not your full address. If you want to, you can provide the postcode of your school or college. So a few more questions about your interests, your job sector interests, like what your ambitions are, and then once that's done, you'll get your own Springpod dashboard where you can start exploring. So final top tips is don't panic. There's always plenty of time to get the information and advice that you need, and use these experiences to really help make those decisions that little bit easier, and take advantage of all these opportunities. So they're here for you. If you have any problems at all, there's always opportunities to ask questions, and develop those opportunities even further. But the more you're prepared now, the easier those decisions will be. So hope you enjoy exploring, and hope Springpod is something that is useful to you.